from Witch City. Today's activity is a day spent in Salem. We got up early, we drove down from Boston, and I'm sitting in Salem Common right now to kind of get the day started. We're taking in the gorgeous fall day. It's the weekend after Halloween. We waited a bit, kind of let the October rush kind of dissipate from Salem. That is definitely their busiest time of year, as you might imagine. You know, it is COVID times, so things are going to be a little different than maybe would typically be a day in Salem. We're not going to do as much indoor stuff or museum-y things, but there's plenty to see outside. This is actually my second time in Salem, but Jordan's first, so we've got a lot of spooky, witchy things on the itinerary. So let's go. So we're walking down Essex Street, which definitely is the main drag where a lot of the shops are and things to see and do. And we passed by the Peabody Essex Museum, which we're not doing today, but I do highly recommend it. They have excellent art, and right now they even have a special exhibit about the witch trials. And it just looks really awesome, but alas, it's not on our itinerary, but I wanted to make sure we mentioned it, so we're gonna keep going to our first stop. One of the best places to stop in Salem is a little shop called Haus Witch. It's so cute. It's kind of on a corner tucked off of Essex, and it is adorable. It's witchy stuff, spell stuff, crystals, but it's also cute housewares. I love it. I came here last time with my friends, and this time it's appointment only because COVID, but that's okay because we got an appointment, and I'm so glad, and it is now, it's time. We're late. Let's go. We are masked and gloved and suited and booted and ready for a little shopping session here at Haus Witch. It's a super cute boutique, lots of mystical, magical, witchy type stuff, and housewares, the best of both worlds. So let's look. Success, y'all. I got some crystals and some cute little postcards maybe to send to some friends, and we had just the best time. The person in there working the shop was so kind and so sweet, and it was just a nice little pick-me-up on this beautiful, sunny, hot fall day. Just so nice. I'm ready for lunch now. Those pumpkin spice hard ciders.
Sure, nice to meet you.
Yes.
Don't worry, I'm here too, by the way. I know y'all haven't seen me, but I'm here. Eating some ramen. Filming my wife all around Salem.
This channel is just essentially Jordan follows me around the world.
That's true.
Makes me look nice. I appreciate that. Let's eat. We got the farmer's market ramen. It's the vegetarian ramen that they have. It's a beautiful freaking day. I got a little pumpkin spice hard cider because that's just who I am. And I'm so excited.
Alright, we're heading to our next spot, and on the way we stopped by the Old Town Hall here in Salem, and fun fact, that's the Old Town Hall that was in the Hocus Pocus films where the Halloween dance was filmed that whole evening. It's up on the second floor, so if you want to, you can come by and check that out. There's also a couple other Hocus Pocus filming locations here in the town, so if you're a big fan of that, definitely stop by and check them out.
Okay, so we've just come around to the Salem Witch Trial Memorial, and there's a house just next to it, which is the house behind me. And when I was here a couple years ago, we went on a nighttime ghost tour, like a walking tour. And I remember we walked by this house, and the tour guide said that up in the attic, sometimes you can see the ghost of a young woman who had contracted a disease. I don't know if it was pox or something like that, very transmissible. And her family locked her up in the attic so that she could be away from them, so that they might survive. And they, I guess, would just like bring her some food every once in a while, but she died up there. And now her ghost haunts the attic still, and you can apparently sometimes still see figures standing up in the top windows. Kind of spooky.
All right, we have about 30 more minutes until our tour that we're gonna go on. And so we decided to come over here to the waterfront district. It is beautiful. I highly recommend if you have some downtime, just come here, get a coffee, get a tea, and just watch the boats go by.
Okay, we're about to start our witch walk tour. It's a walking tour of Salem focusing on the history of witchcraft here. And we can't film it, but we'll let you know how it is when we're done. So, here we go. The Salem Witch Trials were a series of hearings and prosecutions of people accused of witchcraft in colonial Massachusetts. These stone benches mark each of the 20 victims of the hysteria of 1692. You can even read the last words spoken before they were hung or pressed to death. Okay, so we are now kind of rounding out our day with a stroll through the McIntyre Historic District. We were actually walking along getting some footage, and who I'm assuming is a local stopped us and was like, hey, have y'all checked out Chestnut Street? It's my favorite. Go here, go there, do this, and you can find some spots to walk around. And he was not lying, so thank you, kind stranger. So as we go along, we're gonna kind of give you our thoughts of the witch walk.
I thought it was actually really fascinating. They like married history with learning about witchcraft, which I knew nothing about it, really going in.
Modern day witchcraft.
Like modern day witchcraft. And you know, you like growing up and stuff, if you don't know anything about it, you think it's bad or whatever. Or scary, and that's not the case. Like,
no, it's very much about energies, and it's just as scary, I guess, as any other modern day religion. So it is what you make of it, really. It was really cool, and our tour guide, Chris, we loved her.
Yeah, she was
so
awesome.
Sweet, so energetic, and was very open with, she's a practicing witch, and was very open with kind of sharing her experience of it.
Any questions we had, like, feel free to ask, and she answered all of them. So what were some fun facts that you learned? First
off, I feel like we should say that Salem's history before like Bewitched came out was that of maritime history. Salem, I was making sure someone didn't need to drive down this alley. We're in kind of an alleyway. Salem was really about like maritime exploration and trade. And then when the show Bewitched came onto the air, they filmed some of it here in Salem. And after that, people kind of descended upon the town as tourists of like, where are the witches? Are the witches here? Then the witches kind of came here after that and claimed it as their own. So it's kind of interesting, like life
before that,
imitating
it
art.
wasn't really like that big into like the whole witchcraft deal or anything. And just after it, like just blew up here. So now it's what it's known for.
Yeah, very interesting. What did you think?
So another fun, like interesting thing that I learned was basically like you know what you think of as voodoo dolls? People thought that was bad, like you would poke somebody or hurt them in some way by using the little puppet thing. Really, it's for healing. Like you would direct your energy to a specific spot on the puppet. Like if someone had a really bad migraine, you could put a pin in their head, right? And that's where you would focus the healing for that person. And so it's actually meant for good. And a lot of the stuff of witchcraft that I learned
can be used for that.
It can be used for that, yeah.
Which is the same with everything in life. It can be used good or bad. Right. And what Jordan was saying is one of the more prominent people who were hanged during the witch trials in 1692. Right. She was one of the first one, I think. Basically, after all these victims were hanged, the city retained their wealth, their property, and everything. So they got her house afterwards, and everybody else's. They went through her house and deconstructed it and found she called them puppets, but what we would call a voodoo doll were found in the walls of the house, which is kind of interesting. And they are known as like kind of voodoo dark magic, but they were more commonly used for good healing and that kind of thing. So there was a lot of sort of demystification of the mystical.
Yeah.
If you would like. So anyway, that was kind of a few of the highlights. I think we're gonna take a good stroll while we still have light, and we are gonna round out our day here in Salem with a little something sweet. We went big with half a dozen. Ooh. Okay, so we are at maybe my favorite place in Salem. It's called Goodnight Fatty. And the last time I came here, they didn't have a permanent place yet. It was kind of like a pop-up situation, but basically it's cookies. Huge gourmet cookies. They open around 5 and they're open super duper late, like midnight or later, I think. Right now during the pandemic, things are a little different. They do deliveries and stuff. I went ahead and got half a dozen because we're here and I'm gonna take them with me, and the box is warm, and you can get, for $2, you can get unlimited milk. So I got some almond milk, but you can get regular milk. And as long as you're here, you can go get some more. Not that, I don't think anybody needs more than that, huh? So they theme them, and today's theme is Willy Wonka. So there was like a Violet Beauregard one that's blueberry. I don't know the other ones, but anyway. Let's eat cookies, shall we? Let's eat cookies. It's like a delicious blueberry muffin in a cookie.
I'm gonna try chocolate. I'm dripping chocolate all over me. They're all really good. My personal favorite is the blueberry. It's delicious. Second's probably the chocolate. This is my third. That's gonna be a night for us, y'all. I'm glad we could show y'all around Salem. You definitely must come here, especially if you're in the Northeast near Boston. And with that, good night. That's dangerous. I almost poked my eyeball out with a straw. That look good, right? Yeah.